Think of a time when you didn't see or hear happily ever after at the end of a story. It's common for stories to end that way. People want that happily ever after. Many spend their whole life wanting it. And I'm saying that's fine to want it. I want it, you want it, and we all want to be able to have it. But the thing is, we don't just have a happily ever after. We don't just come to a stage in our lives where everything turns from bad to fairy tales and unicorns. Life doesn't just kind of go, oh, this person has had a tough time, let's give them a happy ever after. It doesn't work that way. The reason we all want this is because that is what we've been brought up. We've been brought up with fairy tales and stories with the indication of a happily ever after. And the reason for this is society.
Like children, we all want that happily ever after. We all want to be able to find our true love and grow old together. And that is perfectly fine. It's fine to be able to want that one person and spend eternity together, and that is exactly how society portrays life. As a carefree world where you will get that happily ever after that you have been waiting for your whole life. Many opinions and alternate perspectives can be drawn from this, and we're going to address the positive and negative aspects of portraying society as a carefree, loving and imaginative place. As a child, what were you told? Were you told that fairy tales were true? Or that your imagination could take you anywhere? Or that a happily ever after was just around the corner? All these things are what make a child loving, adventurous and imaginative. Children will grow on all the good things they know. If you say they could fly, they will. If you say they could transform, they will. If you say they could eat a horse and still be hungry to finish off the apple pie, they will believe that they can. Their imagination can send them to places that only they can go, where they can believe they can fly while transforming while eating a horse and a pie at the same time. A child's imagination is very powerful, and it is always a good thing to tell them about the exceptional things in life. If they know about them, they will look at all the positive outcomes in a situation and will always aspire for the best. I think it is good for children of today to be told all there is to know about happy ever afters so that they can work towards one of their own. By telling them that everyone gets their happy ever after, they will wait till they find the right person to spend the rest of their life with. Society should portray life as a happy, fun, loving place where everyone can strive for his or her own happy ever after. By telling them that they will find their one true love, their imagination can take them anywhere. Happiness is always there within reach, no matter how long it lasts. Let's enjoy life and don't live a complicated one. Life is too short. Work as if it was your first day. Forgive as soon as possible. Love without boundaries, love without control, and never stop smiling.
The thing with society is that it portrays life as happily ever after for people. And the reason for this is because of fairy tales and stories. Society's writers end all stories with the happily ever after. They make it out to seem as if after the story of the book is finished, that the rest will be happy. I find this to be wrong. They shouldn't get people's hopes up, thinking that their life is going to be all good, because it's not. Life doesn't just have a happy ending. People get hurt and hurt others. It's a way of life. There will always be something new in your life to break the happiness. Society shouldn't give people these false hopes. They should make them aware of the fact that life could hit you with something bad, and that you should be able to get up from it. But instead, they make it out to seem that only good is going to happen to you. And that is not necessarily wrong, but it is also isn't completely right. I'm not saying that we should forget the fairy tales and the stories we grew up with, but we should have a thought in the back of our minds reminding us that sometimes this won't happen to us. Sometimes we won't have a happy ending to something that we thought we would. We will always have a life that sort of goes like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. And that is good, because how many like to go on a roller coaster that isn't fun? Life is kind of like a roller coaster. It has the ups and downs, symbolising the bad and good times in your life. Whereas if you had a happily ever after, even if after then the roller coaster would go up once and then down again. What I'm saying is happily ever after isn't really fun. How could it? What is actually classified as happily ever after? Nobody knows, since nobody has ever had one. But everyone thinks that they will, and it's good to dream. Dream away, but people should be aware that the bad things can happen, and that life isn't going to be the way they want every day. They will experience things they don't necessarily want to, but they are going to have to. So in the end, what it comes down to is that society puts this idea in our heads that we will live happily ever after, but no one can define what it is, and we will never know.
To conclude, we both have different views on the topic of society portraying life as a happily ever after.
Or as I said, it's a bad idea, Beck thought it was a good idea. You will surely have different opinions, but in the end, it doesn't matter.
We can all argue what is right and what is wrong, but after all, everyone is right in their own minds.
We're not trying to change your minds on what we believe. This is for you to decide.
You never know. One day, your opinion might, just might, change the world.